Hi guys, it's Jennifer here, and this week's video is going to be about a heavier subject than usual. Today we're going to be talking about love. This isn't the sappy video you are going to think it is. It's, like I said, about a heavier subject, and I'm just going to be expressing my thoughts and opinions basically on same-sex marriage. Before I continue, like I said, this is not a subject to be taken lightly, and these are just my opinions. You can click out of this video if you don't want to hear them. If you're homophobic, if you're against gay marriage, just the subject in general, maybe if you'd like to continue watching, I would love to see if I can change your mind a little or maybe open it up. So yeah, I'm very scared to be talking about this. I've never openly shared my opinions on this subject so deeply on the internet. My heart is beating right now. So all I ask is for you to sit back and listen. Growing up as a younger child, like when I was 8 or 9 or 10, I was never very exposed to the subject of people who were gay, people who were transgender, same-sex marriage, like things like that. I was never really taught about it, and I was never really spoken to about it. The first time I heard the word gay was when I was in 4th grade, I think. At this time, I think I was 10 years old, and the word gay was used as, it would be a way to put them down. It would be to say, oh, you can't play soccer, you're so gay. What are you wearing? That's so gay. That's how they would use the word. I never really put a lot of thought into it. I think at this point I didn't really understand completely what it meant. So eventually curiosity got the best of me, and I went home and asked my parents what being gay meant. They are two of the nicest people I know, and they took the time to explain to me what being gay means, how I guess it works if you like the person of the same sex. So basically they were just explaining the term to me. At the time I was a little kid and I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, and now I know what it means. It wasn't until earlier this year of 2015 I really started understanding it more, and I never thought that I would be the kind of person to be so passionate about a certain subject, whether it's about feminism or like being a feminist or just like world peace, world hunger, something like that. I never thought that I would be so like intrigued into something that I would maybe be speaking about it to people on the internet. I don't know how I've collected the following thoughts, but I did, and now I'm going to tell them to you. One question that's always been in my head and still is to this day is, why is love wrong? There are so many forms of love. Men and women, brother and sister, sister and sister, brother and brother, stuff like that. It's endless. Between a person and a book, between a person and a hobby, you know, it's endless. The possibilities are endless. People can be in love with their animals, with their pets, with tigers, something, anything. And it's not categorized as wrong. But when a male falls for a male or a female falls for a female, it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Why are people not allowed to love who they want to love? Love is not an object. It cannot be controlled. It's not like the computer. I can control it by turning it on, turning it off. It's not like a book. I can flip the page, flip it back a page. It's not. It's a feeling that you feel. But honestly, the fact that so many people in this world, so many people can see it as a wrong feeling to feel. And I just cannot express how wrong that is. Like, why are people not allowed to love who they want to love? Men are allowed to love women, as to woman is allowed to love men, and the love between families, etc., etc. But why is it wrong when a human likes another human and they may not be of the different gender, but they still love each other? Why is that wrong? I know that people who are religious definitely have a different perspective on this than I am. My whole family is Christian. I'll throw that out there. My grandparents go to church every Sunday. My parents are Christian as well, but they're not as religious as my grandparents are. So we only go to church in like Christmas and Easter and like, you know, stuff like that. So I would say we are a very Christian-based family. I have talked about this with my parents a couple of times, and they have nothing against the way I see this, I guess. They may have different thoughts, they may think the same, like, but they are not like, oh, you can't say that, like, gay marriage is wrong. Like, they're not like that. I just cannot explain how much I hate that people are not allowed to love who they love. We're all human beings. I know people who are against this subject would also say, like, oh, we are put on this earth to keep on creating. We need to give birth to children so that they can give birth to children, etc., etc., and like just expand the earth, or if you know what I mean, like to keep living. So they're saying that being gay, you cannot reproduce, which is true. But that still does not take away the basic right of a human to not be able to love who they want to love. I cannot stress this enough. I just think it's crazy that it's not legal for a man to marry a man or for a woman to marry a woman in some countries. It's crazy. It's not okay. Having it categorized as an illegal thing to do, to like somebody, to want to marry them, to want to have a family with them. I don't think there are words that can express how I feel towards this. Just to think that there are people in this world who right now could be just hurting over this because it's wrong and it's illegal, because that's what society has set the image of. It just, obviously right now in 2015, people are a lot more open. Like, racism used to be a problem. Well, it still is a problem now, but not as big as it was before. And I'm super glad that people are starting to really open up about the subject. I just cannot express enough about how strongly I feel towards the subject. I don't know. I feel like I've said everything I want to say. Everything I say now is going to be repetitive, and it's honestly, this is something I feel so strong about, and I really, really hope that through this video, I could have changed your perspective on a couple things. I'm not going to try to push my beliefs on this to you, because obviously everyone's different. So please, if you want to talk about what you think about this subject, about same-sex marriage, you're free to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think, but just please don't like be rude to each other in the comments and be like, because you guys may have different opinions, so please don't push your opinions onto other people. I really hope that didn't seem like just a rant from me. I just feel so strongly about this, and I really want to share that with you guys. Alright, so that is it for my video this week. Next week's will be a little more lighthearted, I promise. But that was just something that I feel so strongly about. And I really hope that it might have changed your opinion on this and opened you up a little bit. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my perspective on this, and I'll see you all next week.